So, guys, this is absolutely incredible news. The stock for Square Enix has just crashed. They've lost $350 million. This news actually comes from us via Hypnotic. His channel will be linked in the description, so you can go check him out and support him. These woke companies are going broke rapidly, and I am celebrating. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Well, it looks like we got even more bad news for good old Square Enix, a company that I love, that you love, that we all loved growing up, that has given us some of the best IPs that we have ever experienced in video games. Well, unfortunately, it looks like they have taken yet another massive hit. We have a headline here from That Park Place that reads, former Sweet Baby Inc.'s client, Square Enix, takes a $350 million hit in value as their stock continues to plummet.
Put a ticket in and make a name gay!
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that we've seen coming from a mile away. All the news surrounding Square Enix has not been good. There has been a multitude of different losses that they have experienced over the last year or so, and all of this is due to the fact that they decided to not only partner with Sweet Baby Inc., but they also decided to pander to Western audiences in general, which has resulted in massive money being lost.
Just want to show you something very interesting right here. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake just came out. This is a game people have wanted for years. The game is beautiful. It has great design to it. It cost tens of millions of dollars to make. It was released on November 14th, 2024. So it's been out for 24 hours, guys. And I want you to look at the sales for this thing, or the concurrent players. So we don't have the exact sales numbers, but we can actually look at concurrent players, how many people are online, how many people are playing. So the all-time peak for this game so far has been 37,000. And the number of people who are playing this game right now are only 22,000. Now, of course, this is not, the largest release of the year, but this is a AAA title. So this game is estimated to cost anywhere from $30 to $50 million to make. And this game only has 22,000 people playing it right now. What they did was they went in and they censored a lot of the game. They covered up a lot of the female characters. They also removed gender from the game, so you can no longer choose from male or female. It's now body type A it's body type A or body type B. That's it. So you can no longer, there's no more male or female identities in the game. It's just different body types. They basically crapped on Akira Toriyama, his legacy. The creator of Dragon Quest put out an interview where he talked about how much he was disgusted with woke culture, and he described woke culture as an evil god. Square Enix had the interview scrubbed from the internet, claiming that there was a mistranslation. There was no mistranslation. But they had the interview scrubbed from the internet, even though it was not their interview. It was not something they conducted. They had it scrubbed. The person who did the interview got into a lot of trouble. The Dragon Quest creator, they've basically have hidden him away. The original artist for the game, they've hidden him away. This is insane stuff that's going on. And these are the results right now. This is a massive release for the year. And there's only 22,000 players right now on this game. That's horrible. Just to give you an idea of the difference and how serious this is, this is a major title that just came out, and those are the numbers it has. But then you have a game like Farming Simulator that also came out. This came out on November 12th. It has 126,000 all-time. That's the all-time high, and 91,000 people playing right now, as at the time of recording this video. But then if we look at Dragon Age Veilguard, right? That's a farming simulator. The highest, guys, this is a game that cost over $200 million to make. 89,000. 89,000 was the all-time high, and the number of people playing right now is 25,000. They are going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars on this game. They've already, and then this is BioWare, but Dragon Quest, which comes from SquareSoft, the company we're talking about right now, they just lost $350 million. Their stock just took a massive nosedive. Their latest release that just came out on November 14th, only 21,000 people are playing. The most they've had over the last 24 hours has been 37,000. So even though there are people who are like, oh, the game is great and blah, 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 the average, guys, consumers are speaking right now. Consumers are refusing to buy their trash. Holy cow, guys, old is gold. You can see it. You can see it happening around us. Where people are like, you know what? We just won't buy your games. We will not buy your woke garbage anymore. We'll go over to GOG. We'll pick up our games off GOG, and we'll have a damn good time. Good old games. That's what I'm, guys. I spent like $1,500 on GOG already. I'm not gonna lie to you. Easily spent $1,500 on GOG. I've been killing on GOG. I love GOG so much. And they go in, they fix they fix these games. It's not like Steam where you buy a game and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. They actually go in, they fix the files. So now these games will work on Windows 7 all the way to 10, 11. It's an amazing service that they have over there. Absolutely amazing service. I'm in love with it. And this is what we get, guys. This is what these companies have done. They pissed off the consumer so much that the consumer is literally saying F you to them. All right, literally F you. I mean, guys, you have games like Stardew Valley that have great numbers right now. All right, like Star. This is a game that's been out for a long time. And if we look at Stardew Valley right now, 63,000 people are playing Stardew Valley. We can look at this. All right, all-time peak was 236,000. So the last 24 hours, they had an all-time high of 102,000, and there are 63,000 people playing this game right now. And this is a like $20 game, $10 to $20 game, and it came out back in 2016. And these are the numbers. Okay? This game is still making crazy amounts of money. And these companies, Square Enix that spent all of this money on these games, they're going broke, guys, and they keep on pushing more diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's like they can't help themselves. Guys, do you know the reason why it's called Square Enix? Back in the 90s, because this is like, I'm a bit older than a lot of you that are listening. There are people who are older than I am. I'm 41. So back in the 90s, Square Enix did not exist. You had two different companies. You had Squaresoft and you had Enix. And Enix was the creator of Dragon Quest. Square was the creator of Final Fantasy. And they thought that they were going to go and be, all uppity. And they created this movie, like The Spirit Within, Final Fantasy Spirit Within. It had nothing to do with the previous Final Fantasy games. It was a complete departure. It was a piece of crap sci-fi garbage film that cost them like $100 million or more to develop. They lost so much money as a result of that game that they had to merge with Enix to save themselves. And that's how we went from Squaresoft to Square Enix. Because of their stupid decisions, they lost their freedom. And now they're destroying Dragon Quest. They're destroying the Final Fantasy series with their diversity, equity, and inclusion, and sales have been light. Okay? They're destroying Dragon Quest. And you can see what's happening now, like everything, like it's all falling apart for them. They're losing massive amounts of money, and there's like no real path forward. They may end up getting bought out, or they'll become like a shell of their former selves, and then, their IPs will get scooped up, maybe by Microsoft. I cannot stand Microsoft. I'm so serious. Microsoft is like a predatory company at this point, because they're just basically going around buying up IPs, buying up studios. Like, I'm beginning to think it was a terrible idea allowing Microsoft to acquire Activision Blizzard, because they already had Bethesda. So what they're doing is they don't care about these companies. They're just going after the software, trying to basically monopolize these brands and then create Game Pass with these ugly characters that no one wants. These characters are so ugly, so they can push diversity, equity, and inclusion. But yeah, guys, I just wanted you guys to see this. Like, these games are performing terribly. All right, they just dropped Dragon Age HD 2D. All right, Dragon Age 3. This game costs like $50 million to make, and only 21,000 people are playing right now, with a high of 37,000, 24-hour high of 37,000. And at the time of recording this, it's already like we're already like near midday. We're already around midday, and these are the numbers, 21,000. So people have already woken up, gotten out of bed, and no one is playing this. Like, no one has purchased this game. If only 21,000, no one has purchased this game. No one has purchased it, despite the fact that all of these jokers on YouTube are like, oh, it's so great, I really enjoy it. People are avoiding this game like the plague, and that's what we have to do. We have to stick together and avoid this woke trash. That's what we have to do.
At a time where they should be doing anything but that. They should be doing exactly what made people fall in love with Square Enix and their properties in the first place. But instead, they decided to listen to absolute losers who have no idea what people actually want and are just trying to use them for a payday. So let's get into this article, guys.
Just to remind you guys, if you're enjoying the content, I just want you to go and check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Inside, you'll get exclusive videos, top-tier travel tips, digital nomad guides, passive income strategies, pop culture and geek culture commentary, and hard-hitting manosphere content on gender dynamics, dating, and relationships. Free subscribers have access to videos, podcasts, articles, and the community chat, plus receive the passive income blueprint and digital nomad blueprint just for joining. Paid subscribers unlock even more value, including exclusive guides like the How to Build an Online Business in 24 Hours ebook, while building blueprints, and crypto updates. Join us today by clicking the link in the description and take your journey to the next level. And now let's just go ahead and jump right back into the video.
From that Park Place, but of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says, editor's note, this article is intended for informational purposes only. It is not meant to be taken as financial advice regarding Square Enix stock. Don't worry, we won't. Square Enix shareholders, and to keep in mind, pretty much nobody is, because nobody's really investing in Square Enix anymore. Shareholders received a rude awakening Monday as the video game company behind Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts saw a 10-point dip in the Japanese market. This equates to a market capitalization loss that measures in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, quite unfortunate, but people are waking up, and the shareholders are, in fact, waking up. You guys got to understand that a lot of the shareholders are not just corporate entities like ESG, like BlackRock and Vanguard. Like, they're not, most of the investors are not just that. A lot of the investors are everyday people or people that have some money to blow, and they want to invest in corporations, so they decide to invest in something they think is a good corporation like Square Enix. They don't realize that the culture war is a real thing. They don't realize a lot of what's happening in the gaming space. It's unfortunate, but it's true. I highly recommend that if you're going to invest in video games, you really should pay attention to the culture surrounding the companies you're investing in, because it's a big thing now. It's a big thing always, but it's even bigger now. People have the ability to find out information pretty easily, and I think it's ridiculous that the shareholders don't actually have that information before they invest in the company, and then they find out later down the line what happened with their money, and then they want to get upset about it. The drop came in the wake of Square Enix financial report that actually offered some good news to investors. The company saw $136 million in profits over a 6-month period ending in September of 2024. This represents a year-over-year increase of 22%. However, several worrisome figures seemingly caused enough unease for the stock to still take a hefty hit. Despite the increase over that 6-month period, operating profits had been on the heavy decline throughout all of 2024. Most notably, Square Enix found himself 27% down in Q3 of 2024. Premium game sales are also down this year, which could have pushed investors to sell. Square started November with a valuation of $4.68 billion. This number was based on the company's outstanding shares and the Square Enix stock price. However, it has since lost up to $350 million in value. So again, ladies and gentlemen, is Square Enix going to go under for this? No, obviously not. But the thing is, if they keep fucking around, they're going to find out. It's only a matter of time. I do not believe that Square Enix is too big to fail, even though they have some amazing, IPs that people would absolutely love to buy. I'm sure there's companies out there that will love to buy and own Final Fantasy and own other games like Kingdom Hearts and whatnot and be able to sell them under their own flag. Of course, they would love to own those IPs. But is Square Enix going to go anywhere anytime soon? Probably not.
I mean, guys, here's the thing. Think about what's happening right now with Near Automata. I talked about this in another video where, this is a game that's published by Square Enix, and they're collaborating with Stellar Blade and also with Rainbow Six. And the Stellar Blade collaboration, you have a very beautiful character. But for the Rainbow Six collaboration, their collaboration makes their character looks like a man. It's a man, 100% a man, a jacked man that is masquerading as a woman. And this is Square Enix. This is what they have become. This is their company. The studios overseas, the South Korean studios, the studios in China, they're creating games like Black Myth Wukong. They're creating games like Wu Chang, which is a game that's kind of like a mixture of like Devil May Cry and Ghost of Tsushima with a beautiful female character. Okay, you have these games coming from East Asia, and they still have feminine characters. They still have masculine characters. They're making the games that people want to absolutely play. Like Stellar Blade, Stellar Blade has made a ton of money for Sony. It essentially saved Sony this year, and along with Black Myth Wukong, these games literally saved Sony. Black Myth Wukong made like $1 billion in no time at all. And this is only going to be the continued trend. So we're just going to keep on turning to these companies overseas. We're going to turn to the Eastern companies and we're going to buy their games. Indie developers are really striking out. And, they can go after indie developers, but more will just pop up. And that's really where it is. Like, we're headed. This is 100% a video game crash. There's no question about it. A lot of you are like, oh, it's not going to happen. Guys, we're in a video game crash right now. Because these companies also, they invested heavily in these woke games. They don't have anything else. These are things like Concord that cost Sony $500 million. That game was in development for 10 years. Dragon Age that cost around $350 million to develop. I mean, guys, between $200 and $350 million to develop. That game was in development for 8 years, almost 10 years, and it was rebooted numerous times. There are reports saying that it may have cost up to $450 million because of all the rebooting that they did. And now they're moving on to they're moving on the same team that worked on that piece of garbage game, Dragon Age the Veilguard, is now moving on to work on the next Mass Effect. They announced it. And it's like, bro, they're going to destroy that. And everyone's like, yeah, we're done. The trust is gone. We're not buying your crap games. They don't have infinite amounts of money.
But that doesn't change the fact that this is, in fact, a massive hit. $350 million to your valuation is not a small number. That is a huge hit to take. And considering they've been taking L after L after L, I highly implore them to turn this ship around, right? Final Fantasy XIV is only going to subsidize you for so long, and it's not going to be enough anymore. If you keep losing this much money per project, it's going to get ugly for you. These guys I don't even think they realize this. They really got to stop listening to these Western losers that are trying to tell them to do what they want them to do with their games when nobody's asking for this, right? There's not a single gamer out there that plays Square Enix games that's asking for any of this nonsense that SBI is known to be putting into games. Then it says that Square Enix was a notable client of Kim Belair's Sweet Baby Inc. This narrative design company contracts with gaming studios to consult on story elements, often injecting DEI into their narrative. The company appeared prominently on SBI's website, though recently Square Enix vanished from the list entirely. Well, to be fair, there is no list anymore. Sweet Baby Inc. has decided to hide their involvement with all their partners. So a company that is trying to say they do nothing, a company that is trying to say that they're just better for the overall industry, is so better that they decide to not be transparent and tell you who they're working with. They don't want you to know who they're working with. They want to go back in the shadows. They want you to find out when it's too late. They want you to find out when the credits roll, because at that point, then you can't refund the game, right? Most likely, you can't refund the game. The only thing you can do is trade it in if you bought it physically. It's a scummy business practice, and it's something that they are starting to utilize to their advantage. But thankfully, to the internet and people around, we are getting this information before the games come out, and we are still able to relay it to you so that way you know what you're getting into when you decide to purchase these games, or if you choose not to purchase these games. But at the very least, we do have the most recent list before they decided to, hide all of it, which showcases all of the companies they worked for, some of which are so damn obvious, like like EA, for example, Square Enix, we already knew, Ubisoft, 2K, Rocksteady, Compulsion Games, all this stuff. We already know Compulsion Games South of Midnight is coming out soon, thanks to Booty Adams going all the way to Canada to get us free code. We already know this game's going to be coming out, and it doesn't matter if they hide it. We know this information already. While there's no definitive list of Sweet Baby Inc.'s influence on Square, many point to censorship actions taken by the company in recent years, like restricting the size of Tifa's chest in Final Fantasy VII as proof of the narrative firm's involvement. Sweet Baby Inc. wasn't the only narrative design firm Square worked with. It also contracted Black Girl Gamers to work on noted flop Forspoken. Square Enix representative director Yasuke Matsuda even admitted that sales for Forspoken were weak all the way back in February of 2023. Now, again, why would you want to contract Black Girl Gamers to consult on your video game is beyond me. Square Enix has been known for making some lovable black characters before in the past that are very genuine and very heartfelt, and I don't understand why they suddenly felt the need to hire Black Girl Gamers in order to make this character in Forspoken. It was the dumbest thing they ever could have done, and all they got was an insufferable, stereotypical Western woman as their main character. And you really thought that that's what we wanted? You really thought that that's what your clients wanted, your gamers? You really thought that's what we wanted? It's insane. It's insane to me. It really is, because if anybody with a brain can sit there and realize that the character in Forspoken is so damn insufferable that not even shills of DEI could sit around and play the game long enough for them to experience it all the way to the end.
I mean, guys, they put out this absolute trash game, and now gamers are speaking. Gamers are saying, we don't like it, and we're going to vote with our money. We're just not going to buy it. And these companies are between a rock and a hard place because they sold their souls to the devil. They really don't care what we think, but they're pissed off that they're losing all of this money. They sold out to the devil, and now they're heading down a very, very slippery slope. They don't have infinite amounts of money. They can't keep on going forever. They are going to run out of money. Their stocks are crashing. All right? I mean, guys, if you look at, it's only a matter of time. Right now, Ubisoft is like on death watch. Like, we're just waiting for the company to announce that they're closing down and being liquidated. And that's the end of it. Like, we're all just looking at it like, yeah, that's it. That's it, bro. That's it, little bro. You know? And it's time to move on. But if you look at the Eastern developers, like, they're not messing around. They're not missing a beat. They're dropping incredible games. And guys, old is gold. Old is 100% gold right now. Okay? People are picking up these older games and they are enjoying the hell out of these older games. I keep on telling you guys about Steam. Not Steam, GOG. Basically a better alternative to Steam. And just how incredible it is. And what people are doing is they're saying, you know what? That's a much better idea. It makes more sense to go and pick it up and enjoy that. And you know, guys, for example, there's like a new Harry Potter movie on the way. Not movie, but a series on the way, and J.K. Rowling is involved, and it might absolutely be lit because she's involved, and we know that while there may end up being something like gay characters in there, what we do know is there probably won't be any TRANS characters in there. All right, and it's gonna be a new Harry Potter series on Netflix, on HBO. And guys, we're basically the pendulum, when it starts swinging in the other direction, like really starts swinging, guys. It's like everything just happens all at once. It's like all the chips just fall all at once. Like they did this to themselves. They 100% did this themselves, and they have no recourse. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to come back from it, and it's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And you know, the way I see it is, I say, let them suffer. We actually have a video from John Del Arroz. His channel will be linked in the description, and it's basically going to be going over the fact that IGN has blown out, basically gone mad after having a Harry Potter meltdown and trying to cancel J.K. Rowling because she's involved with the new series. It's going to be a TV series instead of a movie and retelling the books. And they're basically breaking down because this is what's happening. And it may end up being a very, very good series that a lot of people enjoy. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. And John Del Arraz's channel will be linked in the description so you can go check him out and support him. And let's check this out now.
At this point, I think there may be nobody who triggers the left more than J.K. Rowling in the book industry. You'd think it'd be me, but I mean, she really, just by saying that a woman is a woman, has set these people into such a tizzy. And I think it's all because they hailed her as like their revolutionary, the one that they wanted to promote above everybody else for a lot of reasons. Harry Potter, when it came out, obviously resonated with the youth and, of course, got the book industry saved from its decline because people started actually reading because of her. Number two, they tried to prop her up, as a woman. They like to do that as feminism. And number three, she did push some gay rights stuff that they love to cheer about. And as such, as you remember, people used to put the Harry Potter houses in their profile. They'd be like... in different social medias, they'd be like, I'm Slytherin, I'm Hufflepuff. It got insane. And of course, that was the marker of the left-wing bio in like 2014. Now, fast forward a few years later, they removed that and they put pronouns in their bios instead. And J.K. Rowling doesn't jive with that. She's like, a woman is a woman. Wait a minute, I thought feminism was about women. Why are women winning women's sports now? I don't like this. And of course, now it's creating a complete media shitstorm. So IGN decided to attack her yesterday, and they got massive blowback they didn't expect. So IGN seethed over HBO and Max boss Casey Bloys, reiterating that Harry Potter creator J.K. Rowling will be heavily involved in the upcoming Harry Potter TV series. Now, this is usually a good thing. When a creator actually is involved in their own series, you can bet that it's going to be pretty faithful to what they envision for the series, which is, that's what you want out of the books. That's the main complaint that we always see about comic movies and book movies, that they don't match the books. I actually had a friend who had a series picked up for a Netflix deal at one point, and they decided to change all the races of everybody in the book. And he's like, no, I intended them this way for a reason. And by the way, the characters were all Asian to start. It was not like a white to change thing. Asians are getting discriminated against now too, of course, but that killed the show. And so you would rather have them involved because you know that you're not going to get anything weird happening for the most part. So during a press event for HBO and Max, Casey Bloys fielded a question from members of the media asking for passionate views about trans issues was affecting the company's ability to find a cast. No, of course not, because everybody wants to be involved with this, because everybody's going to watch this, and it's only people on Twitter throwing a fit and the media throwing a fit about this. This is a huge opportunity for anybody who wants to do well in Hollywood, because they will show their acting chops in a fantasy situation, which is, look at how they frame things. A passionate view about trans issues. It's actually passionate views about just like protecting the women's bathroom. It's what it comes down to. It's about protecting women, and that is where she's at. But you see how they frame things to like make it sound like she's attacking rather than trying to defend her ground. So they said she's been fairly involved. She was very involved in the process of selecting a writer and director. I imagine she'll have opinions on casting. It hasn't affected the casting or hiring of new writers or production staff. We haven't felt an impact on that. And, J.K. Rowling is very, very liberal in general. I know that she is a Christian woman, but she does have a liberal bent to her that's, fairly European in nature. And so she hires a lot of liberal people, and this is how it always is. Like, if somebody's the best writer for the job and the dude is wearing a dress, she'll probably hire the dude wearing the dress because that's how most people act. Now, it's probably not going to be the dude wearing the dress who's the best person for the job. Those people get chosen ahead of everybody else in normal Hollywood circles, which is why so many films and movies and video games and the like have been clusters over the last several years. And that's exactly what they're doing. They want those people prioritized, not those people just hired for who the best person is for the job. This is how crazy things have gotten these days. Oh, well. They say that she's been fairly involved, and as I said that, there's no impact from the production staff in the cast. So his comments are unsurprising because it was announced she would be an executive producer. Harry Potter is a cultural phenomenon. It's clear there's such an enduring love for the thirst of the wizarding world. In partnership with Warner Brothers Television and J.K. Rowling, this new Max original series will dive deep into each of the iconic books that fans have continued to enjoy for all these years. She herself stated in the press release, Max's commitment to preserving the integrity of my books is important to me, which is good as an author. I'm looking forward to being part of this new adaptation, which will allow for a degree of depth and detail only afforded by long-form television medium. Good stuff. So IGN couldn't handle this. And as you could see immediately, because they can't just talk about a show, IGN can't just do this. They have to make it about the political agenda. You see this in what they've done with Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Now, I could be wrong about this. However, I could also be right. Stranger Things is coming to an end. And, that's going to leave a massive gap in the market. This new series, based on the fact that it's a long-form style, depending on how they go about it, we may end up having a series that centers around Harry, Hermione, Ron, and others solving mysteries at Hogwarts. Because there's so much that happens at Hogwarts. There's such a large history and many things that just are not able to be covered that will allow them to really flesh out that world and go in directions they just were not able to go in the movies or even in the books themselves. So we could end up, because we know that they were doing all kinds of stuff at Hogwarts and exploring and solving mysteries, and because it's a mysterious place. So this could be the next Stranger Things, just to be very honest with you, because it's centered around teenagers, and as we know, it's always about high school, right? Hogwarts is high school, and no matter where you go in life, it's always high school, all right? It's always politics. When you graduate from high school and you go into the workforce eventually, all right, it's all about high school. Even in college, it's all about high school. Life is basically high school. Junior high is just prep for high school. It's all high school. You will be in high school forever. It's always about politics. So people love these types of shows. They love these types of series that bring them back to the past. And I really feel like we may have hit gold here with this, guys. So the stock for Square Enix, it just crashed $350 million down the drain. It's going to keep on crashing. Ubisoft, they've lost 80% of their stock value just over the last 5 years. They went from being like a $13 billion company down to almost less than $1 billion. And it has more to go. So they're basically on death watch right now. What do you guys think regarding all of this, guys? Do you agree that many of these companies just won't be around in a couple of years? They're not going to back off this woke garbage. They might try to do some bait and switches, but they're not. They're going to keep on riding it out until they die off, and I'm looking forward to it because they went woke and now they're going to go broke, and I want them to die off because I supported a lot of them for decades, only for them to go and do this crap. But let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away, and cheers.